Graduands, guests and colleagues, my name is Mary Howarth and I am delighted to welcome you to graduation. I have a few announcements to make before we begin so that you can relax and enjoy the ceremony. Graduands, at the appropriate time you will be invited by the stewards to stand and to make your way to the foot of the stairs, ready to head up the stairs and across the stage. All very straightforward. There are two key things which make for a seamless ceremony. Firstly, as soon as the person ahead of you begins to cross the stage, please make sure you make your way up the stairs. Don't wait until they've passed across the stage before you reach the top of the stairs. Secondly, don't let pride and excitement overwhelm you so much that you forget to pick up your degree parchment after you've crossed the stage. If you do, don't worry, you have still graduated. But don't try to go back because you will collide with someone coming the other way. Instead, please visit the graduation information desk in the exhibition centre where you collected your gowns and tickets 30 minutes after the ceremony to collect your parchment. At the end of the ceremony, graduates are asked to process out of the hall directed by the stewards. Family and friends, the stewards will show you to the exits once the graduates have left the hall. If the fire alarm should sound at any point, please remain in your seats. Instructions will be given and we will escort you to the nearest exit. As graduates, you will join an international community of over 123,000 alumni across 183 countries. The York Alumni Association is vast and organises many events and networks and services designed to help you make connections with other alumni across the world and boost your career prospects. Be sure to visit the Alumni Association stand and photo booth in the exhibition centre, where you can pick up your graduation gift to welcome you into the Alumni Association. Following graduation, as you get into the world of work or take up further study or training, please remember to keep in touch with us and let us know what you're doing. Understanding the career choices that you make will help us provide the right support for current students and make sure we offer graduates like you relevant information and opportunities. Finally, please turn off your mobile phones and will you all now please stand.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the University of York. I declare this congregation open for the Confirmative Awards. Please be seated.
Chancellor, it is a privilege to introduce our honorary graduate, Orla Guerin, MBE. On the front line in Mosul, embedded with Iraqi troops fighting the last pockets of resistance from the so-called Islamic State, we hear the familiar voice of Orla Guerin reporting for the BBC, warning how one has to run and beware of snipers. Appearing in her helmet and flak jacket, she describes, amidst machine gun fire, the distance between her position and the ISIS fighters as so small that sometimes we can see their faces. Her reporting from Mosul is just one example of her unfailing commitment to helping audiences understand the depth of violent conflicts around the world, from the Balkans to the Basque Country to the Middle East, in spite of great personal danger. In an age where 24-hour news cycles can make viewers immune to mass atrocities and human suffering, Orla communicates the human dimension of her stories to make us take notice, to force us to engage with our fellow human beings in some of the most treacherous and degrading circumstances possible. Her reporting not only moves us to be more compassionate viewers, it also reminds us of the crucial importance of journalism to making us more informed and engaged citizens. Holding our leaders to account, even when some denounce news they don't like as fake, depends on the tireless work of journalists like Orla to provide us with access to the real story as it unfolds. Prior to joining the BBC, Orla Guerin worked for Ireland's RTE News, becoming its youngest ever correspondent. She recounts how she decided that reporting was the path that she should follow in life. It was a choice born out by instinct, she says, out of a feeling that I should be chasing the news or trying to, and following your instincts is a big part of this profession. As a student in her native Ireland, taught by nuns she describes as old school, sturdy and stern, but dedicated to pushing their students to the limit, she started to write for any publication she could find. She went on to write for Dublin's Daily Tribune, amongst others, gaining a certificate in journalism in 1985 and later a master's degree from University of Dublin. She was just 23 when RTE sent her to cover the collapse of the Soviet Union. She recalls meeting her Soviet foreign ministry contact. "It's been great to meet you," he said, "but when is the correspondent going to drop by?" Her reply, "She just has." After a brief first assignment as a BBC correspondent based in Los Angeles, she returned to Europe as the BBC's Southern Europe correspondent, where she reported regularly on conflicts in Bosnia and Kosovo. After Serb forces expelled her team from the regional capital Pristina at the outset of the fighting, she reported from Macedonia, documenting the plight of refugees fleeing the border. Reflecting on her work in the region, she remarked, "You want to feel like you're getting at the truth." During this time, she also reported extensively on the conflict in northern Spain's Basque Country, where she broke the story of the Basque separatist group ETA's ceasefire in October 1998. Her subsequent BBC Two documentary on ETA was nominated for a BAFTA award. After returning to Moscow, where she covered the 2000 Kursk submarine crisis, she began a 5-year post as the BBC's Middle East correspondent based in Jerusalem. The then BBC Director General and former University of York Chancellor Greg Dyke reflects on the challenges of her post. "The problem with reporting the Middle East," he says, "as with reporting so many conflicts, is that both sides are adamant they are right. The BBC's role is to report all sides in the conflict fairly, which he remarks is not always what governments in the region want to hear." In 2002, BBC viewers witnessed Orla and her crew being pinned down by Israeli fire while filming a demonstration in the West Bank. In 2004, the Israeli government filed a formal complaint for her report on the incident. But reflecting on the controversies, Orla remarked in an interview, "We get feedback from both sides. It's part of the job." In 2005, Orla Guerin received an MBE for her outstanding service to broadcasting. From her bases in South Africa, Islamabad, and now Cairo, she has continued to report with humanity, honesty, and sensitivity on conflicts around the Middle East, from the war in Libya to the ongoing offensives in the Levant. She succeeds in conveying to her audience immensely personal stories of suffering while leaving them with a deeper understanding of the causes and consequences of violent conflicts around the world. Chancellor, for her contributions to journalism, for her courage, her compassion, and her pursuit of truth, it is an honor to present to you Orla Guerin for the degree of Doctor of the University, honoris causa.
Thank you. Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, fellow honorary graduates, actual graduates, honoured guests, family members. It's a great pleasure to be here in York, the UK's first human rights city, in this historic year, the centenary of women's suffrage. And of course, as we've all seen lately, issues of women and equality and pay, and indeed BBC women, are somewhat in the headlines, but we're not going to go there today. I've now been a journalist for more than 30 years, 21 of them with the BBC, and I have reported from more than 60 countries. And as I've said before, just saying that makes me feel exhausted. One of my earliest assignments left the deepest imprint. In May of 1992, I went to the Bosnian capital, Sarajevo, as it was succumbing to a siege. I was working for Irish TV, for RTE, operating on what I could honestly describe as half a shoestring. I had no car, no cameraman, no producer, not much money, and a flak jacket that didn't actually have bulletproof plates. I borrowed that from the Irish Army. They said I could have the jacket, but I couldn't have the plates, because they were classed as an item of ordnance. When I got to Sarajevo, a seasoned American reporter took one look and said, "Well, it's not bad, Orla, but the only thing it will do is stop you catching cold." The entire city, with its captive civilian population, became a front line. We reporters watched out for each other, and we swapped information in the mornings and the evenings about the most dangerous intersections on Sniper Alley. At one stage, the story came to us when our hotel was at the centre of a lengthy gun battle between warring factions. A truce was negotiated so we could pull out temporarily, and the BBC arranged a convoy. A young Catalan photographer wanted to make one last dash into the city centre. His name was Jordi Puyol. He was 25. It was his first assignment. Jordi was warned that the convoy would leave in half an hour sharp. He never made it back. He was killed by a mortar on the main street as he stood outside the Holiday Inn Hotel. And all of these years later, I can still remember his face and his extraordinary smile. This is what Jordi said to a friend shortly before his death. "We cannot leave now. Who will explain to the world what is being done in Sarajevo? Above all else, I think that this is our job, to explain and to bear witness." As a university with a Centre for Applied Human Rights and a programme in Human Rights and Equity Studies, This institution is also bearing witness and preparing a new generation of human rights defenders. Being a foreign correspondent means you acquire certain skills. Many of them, I have to say, completely useless outside the world of foreign news. You learn how to reverse a 5-ton armoured car at speed. You learn how to sleep almost anywhere. You learn the difference between outgoing and incoming fire, or at least you tell yourself with confidence that you know the difference. And you learn how to drink tea by the gallon. In some areas I have visited, it's considered an affront to open your notebook and ask a question before accepting a cup of tea. This is especially true in the tribal areas of Pakistan near the Afghan border. During my first visit to this remote terrain, I kept hearing the same exhortation: "Madam, drink tea." My local guide explained that hospitality was a fiercely held tradition. Refusing was not an option. "Drink the tea," he said, "even if you don't want it. There are people here who will shoot you if you don't." Another thing you learn in this job is persistence. One of my first news editors in Dublin in 1987 gave me some good advice. "Be on time," he said, "and be polite. And if anyone says no, just pretend you didn't hear them." I have found those to be useful words to live by. In my business, you're always supposed to be eager for the next big story. But there are big stories I dearly wish had never come. I was sitting at my desk in the BBC bureau in Islamabad on October the 9th, 2012, when I got an SMS alerting me to breaking news. The text read, "Malala shot by gunman." I read and reread the message, frozen to the seat, hoping it was wrong. But the story was true. The courageous teenage education campaigner, Malala Yousufzai, had been shot in the head on her way home from school. Malala was just 11 when she spoke out against the militants. It was 2009, and they had taken over her native Swat Valley, decreeing that girls' schools must close. Malala exposed their harsh regime in a blog for the BBC's Urdu language service, written initially under a pen name, but later she was identified. This was her entry for January 3rd. "I was very scared getting ready for school today because the Taliban announced that girls should stop going. Our head teacher told us at assembly that if we came, we shouldn't wear a school uniform, just come in normal clothes. Out of 27 girls, only 11 came." During my time in Pakistan, and I spent 4 years there were senior politicians in Islamabad with round-the-clock bodyguards who feared to even say the word Taliban, much less criticise the militants. Malala, on the other hand, publicly denounced them, even though she knew the risks. Within weeks of Malala's shooting, we had a very different story to tell about her extraordinary recovery and her enduring commitment to the education of girls around the globe. In July of that year, I saw the Malala effect in action when I visited a school in northwest Pakistan. In one conservative community, girls' enrolment actually went up after Malala was attacked. Some mothers were so angered by the targeting of a young girl that they sent their own daughters to school for the very first time. One of the new pupils was a chatty 10-year-old called Tasneem, who told me with conviction that she wanted to be a policewoman. She and many others were claiming a new future because of Malala. That fearless young woman from a remote Muslim community in Pakistan continues to be a voice for the voiceless and is now a student at Oxford. And if you haven't seen her spellbinding address to the United Nations on her 16th birthday, it's well worth taking a look. This young woman who would not be silenced said this: "One child, one teacher, one book, one pen can change the world." If I might presume to offer some advice to all of you as you set off on this new chapter of your lives, I'll do it in two parts. The first part from me, the second part from the very wonderful poet of Northern Ireland, the late Seamus Heaney. My advice would be, don't do what I have been doing for the last 30 years. And to borrow some wonderful lines from Seamus, I'd like to quote one of the many treasures he left behind, and that's the phrase that appears on his tombstone. Walk on air, he advised, against your better judgment. Thank you.
Chancellor, I have the honour to present the following candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Archaeology. For research on the contested nature of heritage significance, Stella Jackson. For a comparative study of monuments to slavery, Winston Fulgence. For research in archaeology and folklore on Orkney, Scotland, Naila Sholma Mason. For the degree of Master of Arts by Research in Archaeological Studies, William Smith. For the degree of Master of Arts in Archaeology of Buildings, Louisa Catt. Stella Fox. Georgia Foy. Matthew Golden. Anna Manley. Claire Phillips. Holly Taylor. For the degree of Master of Arts in Conservation Studies, Eleanor Burbidge. Sarah Volkman. Jessica Weston. For the degree of Master of Arts in Conservation Studies, Historic Buildings, Robert Argyle. Amanda Brocklehurst. Daniel Edmonds. Marina Foti. Mark Harrison. Eloise Limmer. Ruth Mitchell. Annabelle Morley. Helen Mulholland. Anna Panayotou. Thomas Pinner. Sean Rawling. Carolyn Eperman. For the degree of Master of Arts in Cultural Heritage Management, Nathan Bishop. Georgina Bois. Jennifer Cook. William Egan. Sophie Farmer. Eva Himple. Andrew Jarvis. Gregory Judges. Nadine Loach. Lydia Lupesco. Ellery Newman. Joseph Perry. Benjamin Phillips. Kirsty Ryder. Lauren Shelton. Aline Stanton. Naomi Swain. Luke Towers. Henry Weeds. Inez Williams. Kirsty Wilson. Amy Wright. Ruth Yoxon. For the degree of Master of Arts in Field Archaeology, Michelle Rossblock. Mark Williams. For the degree of Master of Arts in Funerary Archaeology, Laura Mackay. Natasha Mayer. Kate Morris. Sarah Peacock. Matthew Smithson-Shaw. For the degree of Master of Arts in Historical Archaeology, Michael Stevens. For the degree of Master of Arts in Medieval Archaeology, Rachel Bateson. Andy Bliss. Samuel Kinayans. Jonathan Lewis. Eleanor March. Rebecca Seekins. Madeline Walsh. Jonathan Ward. Catherine Yates. For the degree of Master of Arts in Mesolithic Studies, Sarah Chang. Freya Lawson-Jones. Bradley Saint. Charlotte Warrington. For the degree of Master of Science in Archaeological Information Systems, Tori Lee Adamschulk. Leontine Talboom. Tegan Zoldosk. For the degree of Master of Science in Bioarchaeology, Sofia Chakova. Isabella Gaffney. Imogen Francis Hodgkiss. Michelle Learmonth. Lily Olet. Vivian Van Heekeren. Rachel Winter. For the degree of Master of Science in Digital Heritage, Rihanna Coleman. Ashley Fisher. Angeliki Tsuganatu. For the degree of Master of Science in Early Prehistory, Elizabeth Broderick. Laura DeRochas-Worley. Esther Fagelson. James Green. Jasmine Parnaby. For the degree of Master of Science in Zooarchaeology, Laura Anderson. Liam Armstrong. Nora Batterman. Ryan DeRochas-Worley. James Nottingham. Joshua White. Margarita Zona. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Archaeology, Eleanor Hansford. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Bioarchaeology, Peter Fisher.
Chancellor, I have the honour to present the following candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in History. For research in familiar spirit in early modern English witchcraft, Gabriela Garcia Leddy. For research in the concept of idleness in late medieval society, Emma Martin. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Railway Studies, Stephen Murphy. For the degree of Master of Arts in Contemporary History and International Politics, Rachel Hogan. Christopher Lees. Chloe Morrison. Michael O'Donoghue. Benjamin Payne. Maeve Sinnott. Jack Stockdale. Thomas Wright. For the degree of Master of Arts in Early Modern History, Hannah Budden. Anthony Cooper. Thomas Delamere. Laura Flanagan. Enya Holland. Emma Marshall. Benjamin Norman. Hannah Reeve. Zach Sizer. For the degree of Master of Arts in Medical History and Humanities, Chloe Abley. Alexander Bogue. Edward Devane. Sarah Wotton. For the degree of Master of Arts in Medieval History, Georgina Barker. Stephen Bates. Teresa Bowles. Charlotte Chamberlain. Matthew Dent. Emily Lawson. Abby Mathers. Joanna Stitt. For the degree of Arts in Modern History, Alexander Jubb. Rebecca Nelson. Alexander Walton. For the degree of Master of Arts in Public History, Bethany Alsop. Rachel Etherington. Olivia Farrow. Charlotte Lucero. Elizabeth Myking. George Norman. Rebecca Payne. For the degree of Master of Arts in Renaissance and Early Modern Studies, Sophie Adamson. Connor Byrne. Irene Frangu. Chelsea Gordon. Charlotte Kitchen. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in History, Dominic Gill. Megan Gawley. Brandon Keane. Katie Matthews. William Melvin. Xiao Li. Wang.
Chancellor, I have the honour to present the following candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Medieval Studies. For researching an edition and studies on Alcuin's De Rhetorica, Artur Costrino. For the degree of Master of Arts in Medieval Studies, Matilda Asbury. Kirsten Bernard. Laura Bernardzi. Philippa Carter. Olivia Enston. Olivia Greenhow. Amy Grundy. Megan Ibbotson. Catherine Jackson. Richard Manklow. Jessica McEwen. Emmy Rose Price Goodfellow. Christopher Rice. And Emily Woods.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ensemble Eonomy will perform Never Weather Beaten Sail by Dr. Richard Shepherd, followed by I Got Rhythm, arranged by Christopher Clapham.
Take my soul, joys of earth, of heaven's high paradise, cold age deaths not, nor vapor dims our eyes. Glory where the sun outshines, whose beams the blessed only see. Oh, come quickly, oh, come quickly, glorious Lord, and raise my sprite to thee. I got rhythm, I got music, I got my man who could ask for anything more. I got daisies in green pastures, I got my man who could ask for anything more. All my trouble, I don't mind him, you won't find him round my door. I got starlight, I got sweet dreams, I got my man who could ask for anything more, who could ask for anything more, for anything more. I got rhythm, I got rhythm, I got music, I got my man who could ask for anything more, for anything more. I got daisies in green pastures, I got my man who could ask for anything more. All my trouble, I don't mind him, you won't find him round my door. I got starlight, I got sweet dreams, I got my man who could ask for anything more, who could ask for anything more.
Chancellor, I have the honour to present the following candidates. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Psychology for research in within-person variability in social evaluation, Mila Mileva. For the degree of Master of Research in Psychology, Fatima Bigham. Ryan Gamble. Suzanne Pegg. Atsuko Tominaga. Xingchen Chu. Lu Tingzhou. For the degree of Master of Science in Applied Forensic Psychology, Lucinda Anderson. Sarah Beattie. Christina Berger. Ben Cotterill. Fleur Curry. Jodie Davidson. Abby De Carolis. Nisha Dixon. Kirsten Edge. Jade Gregory Hazelden. Kate Hull. Emily Hubbard. Nitisha Jiwa. Olivia Marshall. Nicholas Marshall Atherton. Yasmin McGorlick. Charlotte Nichols. Lisa Reagan. Charlotte Rodhouse. Charlotte Sadler-Smith. Laura Schmidt. Liam Smith. Fiona Sweeney. Margaret Townsend. Pech Umpunchun. For the degree of Master of Science in Cognitive Neuroscience, Farah Akhtar. Robert Brownbridge. Sophie Corkwell. Molly Rose Farthing. Laura Gardner. Anna Gutterson. Harry Jinks. Emma Jones. Catherine Jones. Mary Leveson. Brian E. McKean. Jessica McMaster. Nicola Ngombe. Christina Pasqua. Zoe Petmetzas Walker. Lyndon Rapperson. Sophie Sayer. Martin Scott. Pamela Smith. Jared Sparks. Jacob Omni. Ao Wang. Sophie Waterson. Mason Wells. For the degree of Master of Science in Development, Disorders and Clinical Practice, Amy Ulfrey. Olivia Andrews. Ella Bonus. Oslem Barak. Amy Code. Bethan Cotter. Joanna de la Fargue. Tara Evans. Alice Garland. Adela Gill. Emily Glover Humphreys. Rosie Hardisty. Amy Hart. Avis Iqbal. Charlotte Lambert. Eugene Lee. Harriet Lithgow. Jingni Ma. Alicia Maud. Nicole McGowan. Alice Millington. Kate Mooney. Fungingsai Muchenji. Atiya Nisa. Elchin Octon. Melanie Ratcliffe. Maurice Coroni. Nina Romo. Georgina Seymour. Matthew Spooner. Amy Taylor. Megan Taylor. Finley Whitehead. For the degree of Master of Science in Developmental Cognitive Neuroscience, Doreen Barrett. Peter Coppola. Charlotte Kilroy. Ben Malum. Catherine Porter. Federico Troxville-Nossa. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Psychology, Millie Earp. Tashan Jones. Sarah McCallum. Emily Mayers. Bethany McCart. Liam Smith. Sylvia Tehera Osuna. Georgia Sahariada.
Chancellor, I have the honor to present the following candidates for the degree of Master of Arts in Digital Film and Television Production. Andrew Adams. Wai Long Chi. Orestes Dikaios. William Firth. Han Gao. Stavros Lakidos. Weining Lian. Rebecca Line. Lida Mavridi. Paul Preston. Charlotte Sigsworth. For the degree of Master of Arts in Post-Production with Sound Design, Samantha Bayram. Aisha Baythorpe. Michael Koutsayanis. Benjamin Leverett Jakes. Patrick Nichols. Rachel Scott. For the degree of Master of Arts in Post-Production with Visual Effects, Hasil Lopez. Alvaro Marcilio Bellarin. Lars Mirvang. For the degree of Master of Arts in Theatre, Writing, Directing, and Performance, Mirren Hill. Xiao Liu. Rachel Martinelli. Joshua Potts. Anna Sharp-Jones. Emma Summers. Mark Summers. Keelan Swift. Camille Thompson. Connor Wilkinson. Joseph Willis. For the degree of Master of Science in Post-Production with Sound Design, Martin Boitzy. Oliver Norgate. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Film and Television Production, Louis Milo Diebel. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Interactive Media, Dylan Ronan. For the degree of MSc in Engineering Management, Min Min Wang.
It is my enormous pleasure to introduce our student orator who will speak on behalf of the class of 2018. Our student orators have been invited to speak in recognition of their hard work on behalf of the student body and commitment to their studies. Our speakers have both pursued the most enriching experience they could during their time at York, as well as giving back to their community. On behalf of the class of 2018, I give you Joseph Willis.
When I first came to write this speech, the first thing that came to my mind was, why did I do a Masters in Theatre at York? I had already previously done a BA in History in York, and whilst I had loved every second, what was stopping me from moving to another campus, apart from your standard millennial graduate dread of entering the real world, of course? Well, initially and quite weirdly, it was Rachel McAdams. Yes, the famous actress Rachel McAdams, star of such cinema classics as Morning Glory, The Time Traveller's Wife, and, of course, Mean Girls. See, she's a personal hero of mine, and when back in June 2016 I found out she'd done a Masters in Theatre at the University of York, I thought, well, that's the place for me. However, in a spectacular failure of research, which is quite ironic for an undergraduate of history, I discovered after the submission of my application that rather than it being the University of York, England that she'd study at, it was in fact the University of York, Ontario, Canada. Thus, I was left with the question, did I actually want to go to York to do my Masters? Now, after some soul-searching and at least 5 rewatchings of The Notebook, I realised the answer. Yes, I did. And it came down to 3 main reasons. People, places and things. Firstly, people. The amazing thing about the University of York, always to me, is its people. From students like my friend Tom Barry, who helped crowdfund the amount of money so that he could buy me a suit for my first job interview, to my friend Stephen Clark, who allowed me to pass my University of York radio demo, freshers demo, even though I'd sneezed 3 times during the demo itself. From my friend Golfo Migos, who without my knowledge got people to nominate us for a Student Union Award, to the YCL catering staff, who always put up with my singing whilst I was washing the pots when I worked there. People make the university what it is and why it is the way it is. Secondly, places. York University has always been a safe space in which to experiment. This is the place where I was given funding to put on a horror show in a rose garden, to DJ in SpongeBob shorts, where a University Radio Society was allowed to do a 101-hour marathon for charity and only received 2 noise complaints. By the way, they were by the same person. Don't think I forgot you, Blake from Derwent. It has always been a place which has been supportive and safe. Well, that is except for the geese, but the less said about them, the better. And finally, things. Now, this is a bit of a weird one, but for the University of York, it has its little intricacies, which I think no other university has, and which I think we will all genuinely miss. From the fact that we are currently in a building which is a UFO built by Martians from the 1960s, to the double glass doors of the seminar room VO44, which I swear have been built just to give tutors a laugh at 9 AM on a Monday morning when people smack into the glass doors like birds. The University of York is a space like no other with its people, places and things. And I hope that as graduates, preparing to enter the dark recesses of the non-university world, you can also look back on the people, places and things that made your uni life so special here. But as you do, one word of, well, not wisdom, but advice. Love what happened here, love what it did, love who you met, but don't let it hold you back. Don't live in the past, don't become trapped in it, but instead use it as the stepping stone, the propulsion to create your future. And yes, I too gagged a little when I wrote that sentence. So, good luck, graduates. Go make your future. Go do great things. Go use what you learned at the University of York to better yours and others' lives. Go forth, go build, go create. For in the end, you are all Glen Coco. And in the end, you all go. Thank you.
So thank you very much, Joseph, for that insight into life at the University of York, where students turn up at 9 o'clock on a Monday morning, which may be news to some in the room, but Joseph, fantastic presentation. Thank you so much for that. It's my enormous pleasure to be able to welcome everybody here again. I know that there are parents and family and friends and fans of our graduates who have come from near and wide, and from around York, but also from right across the world. And that's a measure of the internationalism of this campus and the vision of the university. So everybody is very, very welcome here. So I want us to start at the top, as a newsreader might say. An honorary degree is the highest award that it is in the gift of a university to confer. Those who are chosen for this award are rigorously scrutinized, and it goes through a lengthy process of nomination. I hope that most of those steps were jumped in the case of Orla Guerin, because the case is just so self-evident. And her litany to us this afternoon of courage, of bravery, and of commitment to truth, and of penetrating some of the nastiest war zones in the world commends her to us as no other, as the highest deserving recipient of an honorary degree of the University of York. Orla, it's been a huge privilege to be able to confer that upon you this afternoon. But it hasn't stopped there. I've had the opportunity to work that magic by which students come into this hall as graduands, and they leave it as graduates, and it's all down to what we've just done as students have crossed that stage, some brimming with confidence, although not really, and many, I think, rather nervous about tackling that edge of red carpet along there, but everybody made it safely. And it reminds me of the story of a young student who came to his graduation ceremony a bit late. He'd been out doing celebrations. And unfortunately, on the way to the ceremony, he had picked up a kangaroo suit and sneaked into the auditorium unobserved by the watch nightman down here, and came up onto the podium and started jumping up and down, as kangaroos do. But all of a sudden, there was a splintering sound and a cracking sound, and he disappeared completely from sight. The auditorium was completely quiet, broken only by his mother saying, "Oh, please, just ignore him. It's just the stage he's going through." So this is the stage you've been going through, or at least across, and it's, as Chancellor, it's an enormous pleasure. I never get sick of this. An enormous pleasure to shake those hands and to take the compliments about my hat and my gown, but actually the best compliments that you make are reserved for those who've taught you. And when you say to me, what a fantastic time you had here and how much you learnt, and I'm aware of how little I know about what those titles of those degrees actually mean, I feel really humbled, and on behalf of the university, it's a wonderful feeling. But as we discharge our graduates into the community after their successful time in the University of York, we do so at a time when many commentators in the media are observing a dysfunctional society, a society that is starting to lose some of those values that started to hold nations together after the Second World War. That strong transatlantic alliance seems to have been replaced by quite enfeebled leadership on both sides of the Atlantic. We can start to see the great work of the United Nations, founded out of the ashes of the Second World War and out of the failure of the League of Nations, as an ability to hold nations together, also faltering. But although there have been strong internal divisions between nations, they haven't until relatively recently started to fracture the comity of nations across the world. And so people look at this, and people look also at the environmental damage that our generations have imposed upon this planet, and ask themselves, which direction is this going in? And then they ask, one of the new phenomena of our time is the so-called Fourth Industrial Revolution. The first, which started not far from here and saw the railway structure created that completely transformed Victorian England. And now the fourth, which includes artificial intelligence, nanotechnology, robotics, driverless cars, a world in which machines increasingly can take over not only those aspects of physical labor that already they have captured, but also those aspects of intellectual labor, particularly all that which can be digitized and starts to become automated and taken out of the reach of human beings. Indeed, we should worry, I think, about artificial intelligence's capacity, not only to take it outside our reach, but to take it outside our understanding. I can foresee the day when a robot tries to hack another robot, and we think those characteristics of human behavior translated into machines. But I would say all of those aspects are things for rejoicing and celebrating. That threat to employment, which some international consultancies have put at between 7 and 47% employment loss, well, that's a slight degree of variation in the estimate. We have known from previous times creates opportunities as well as threats, but it creates opportunities not for those who do mechanical work and work that is uncreative. It creates opportunities for those with agility and for those who have that creativity and that ability to think out of the box. And I would say also for those disciplines such as music and archaeology and history that teach us about the past and play to the human soul as much as technology can play to curing and improving the lot of mankind. So why do I find confidence in the future, for example, of artificial intelligence? And I do, in my capacity as chair of the board of NHS England, as seeing now how we're able to use pattern recognition and deep learning to read optical scans of the human body and radiology and pathology and start to create much more quickly than a trained specialist can an accurate prediction of the presence and the progress of a disease in the human body, and which allows us to intervene at an earlier stage and to try to bring about an earlier cure and prevention of further deterioration. None of it, by the way, will save the NHS a penny. That's not in the nature of healthcare transformation. But the fundamental moral objective of the NHS, which is to cure disease and to prolong healthy life, can only but be served better and better by advances in modern technologies. And what about the threats of environmental degradation and climate change? I saw a figure recently that indicated that the United States of America alone has spent $300 billion in the last 5 years cleaning up the impacts of adverse climatic experiences. $300 billion fixing and repairing. Imagine what a fraction of that might do in terms of investment in renewable energy, in the energy that can be created without depleting the Earth's resources and without depleting the atmosphere's capacity. So we have, I think, in the future, different opportunities, different challenges. Everybody will say to us, oh, the generation that graduates today faces a much more difficult and uncertain future than did the generation 20 or 30 years ago. It's not true. The differences and the similarities are measurable over time, but nonetheless, the opportunities are fantastic. So why is it that universities figure in this? Well, I would say that in this country we have several great institutions. One of them, and the one that I would obviously put at the top, is the National Health Service. I'm biased. I would also add, of course, the BBC. I think an independent judiciary is another fascinatingly important aspect of our work. But above all of these, alongside all of these, I would put universities. There are things that only universities can do. There are things that universities have a capacity to do because they have an array of intelligence, of specialties, and of disciplines, as we call them, which don't just exist within silos. It's not just archaeology here or history there or electronics or physics or chemistry sitting in different parts of the campus and with differently trained staff and students. What the university can do that no government can do, that no private corporation can do and no other public corporation can do, is bring together those talents under a single roof and incentivize them so that we know, for example, that much of the future of healthcare isn't with doctors, it's with data. It's with data science. It's with understanding what happens when we sequence the whole genome of a human being and understand the proteomics and understand what causes the human body to act in the way that it does. Only universities can do this. And that's why I stressed so strongly this afternoon the immense value of these institutions, which is sometimes under threat, sometimes misunderstood, sometimes criticized in the media. There is no other body that can do quite what the university can do. So as our graduates are heading off into their new lives and into their new existences, for archaeologists as much as astrophysicists, there is every opportunity to do something that contributes not only to our own welfare, but to the welfare more generally of society and of mankind. It's not an issue of entitlement. I'm reminded of the story of a young man who graduated in management studies. He had already negotiated a placement, a trainee management placement with a major firm. He turned up on the first day, Monday morning, went up to the 5th floor and met the manager, who welcomed him very warmly, welcomed him to the firm and said, now let's get on to work. He said, here, take this broom and go down and sweep out the foyer. And the young man said, I'm terribly sorry, I'm a graduate. I'm a graduate from the university. To which the manager replied, so you are, I completely forgot, my apologies. Here, give me back the broom and I'll show you how it works. So there is no entitlement. None of us ever could or should have walked into a job just like that without proving our talent and proving our worth. But I would be dismayed if a degree from the University of York didn't take you all an immensely long way in life. So it falls to me, before I formally conclude this afternoon's congregation, to offer some thanks. On your behalf, first of all, I'd like to offer thanks to E-Anonomy, the a cappella ensemble of students who sang to us so beautifully. Please may we offer them a round of applause. And secondly, just picking up on those comments that so many students made to me informally earlier, there's a group of people here in this room who made it possible for everybody here to learn and to graduate, and they're called the staff of the university. I mean all the staff, but in particular the faculty, the teaching faculty, many of whom here on a Saturday afternoon to signify their warm support for the graduating class of 2018. So I would really like you, please, to join me in thanking those who have made this possible. The next vote of thanks I'm going to issue on your behalf to these people. The families, the friends, the fans, of course they are fans of their friends and families, but all the admirers of your close association who have supported through university years, and many of you have graduating today with your second, if not your third or your fourth degree, and there will be many more for those who haven't yet got there. But I would like, on your behalf, to thank everybody who has provided support for you throughout your university career at York. So thank you all for your help. And finally, the last word for the Chancellor. Why don't we give a final round of applause for our graduates, ladies and gentlemen. I declare this congregation closed. Please be standing.